Gurubhyo Namaha, Ganeshaya Namaha, Saraswati Namaha. Namaste to all.
Namaste, Panditji. We are here today to know about the Hindu New Year's. Can you please tell us when do we celebrate Hindu New Year's?
We generally celebrate Hindu New Year in springtime, March or April, and unlike the New Year we celebrate nowadays, which happens to be on January 1st, which is a very cold winter when life is almost dead. But we believe from ancient times that life only starts in springtime. As a result, we also believe that New Year should also start in springtime when the life sprang out. Similarly, when you look at our days, when it starts nowadays, it starts at 12 o'clock in the midnight and people are supposed to be deep asleep. So it's very highly illogical to start a day when you're sleeping. It looks like then you have next day also sleepy day. Whereas in India, we believe that the new day starts with the sunrise. Therefore, in India, there is a tradition that you have to wake up between 4 and 6 and welcome the sun and pray to the sun and thank the sun for giving you the new day and start our day. In that way, we are starting in a very positive note. We are proactive instead of being reactive and sleeping and then having a new day. Similarly, just like the new day starts at sunrise, the new year also starts at the springtime when the life is springing. So, from ancient times, we do see that all over the world they celebrated the new year only in springtime. For that reason, even though we follow certain months nowadays, the month names, if you look them deeply and carefully, the names are all coming from Sanskrit. For example, the month itself comes from Sanskrit, means mantha means that which is complete. A complete set, a complete unit is called a month or mantha. From that word comes month itself. And then our months, for example, September still holds the Sanskrit name Sapta,
Seven.
which means seven.
Yep.
October is Ashta, which is eight. November is Nava, which is nine.
Nine.
December, which is Dasa, which is 10.
Ten.
So January
Yep.
becomes 11 and February becomes 12
12.
and March becomes 1
First.
again. So in this way, the New Year's were still following from ancient times. The months are still holding the secret to that. The older all the ancient traditions all over the world, they were following a springtime New Year, and the months still reflect that. So it's very logical to celebrate the New Year only when the new life starts, and hence Hindus believe that it's very good to celebrate our New Year following the nature because we are part of the nature and therefore we have to align ourselves with the nature and celebrate the New Year.
Okay, Panditji. I wonder we have different Hindu New Year's, but why do we have different Hindu New Year's?
So we have different New Years in India because Hindu tradition is very, very ancient, many, many thousands of years old. Some say 12,000, some say 20,000, some say many more years back. So from long time onwards, they originated many complex calendar systems. One of them is solar calendar, other one is called luni solar calendar. The people who follow solar calendar have their New Years, like in Punjab they call it Vaishakhi, in Assam they call Rangoli Bihu, in Tamil Nadu they call Puttandu, in Kerala they call Vishu, in Bengal they call Poili Vaishakha, and in Orissa it's called Navabarsha. All of these people follow the solar New Year. Whereas in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra, they have a lunar New Year. In Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, it is called Ugadi, and in Maharashtra, it's called Gudi Padwa. And in many parts of North India also, they have a lunar calendar. In the solar calendar, New Year is always fixed. It always falls on 14th of every month. 14th of every month we call also Shankranti. That is when the sun is entering into a different zodiac sign. But today we know that we have different sun signs in West here, and they always celebrate that. They always follow that new uh, zodiac sign starts on 21st of every month. But because of Earth's inclination of the axis, the movement of sun actually happens on 21st of March, but in reality it is moving only 23 days after, which happens to be April 14th. On April 14th, the sun is really moving into Aries sign. That is the reason it's called Mesha, which is a Sanskrit word for Aries, and it's called Mesha Sankranti, the movement of sun into Aries sign. Like that, we have 12 Sankrantis always happening on 14th of every month. Hence, all the solar New Years always happen on the 14th month of every year. Whereas lunar New Year always happens differently because their months are slightly different and they have a different system to follow. As a result, they vary from last week of March to first week of April when the lunar New Year starts with the lunar month called Chaitra. How this happens is when the full moon occurs in the star of Chitta Nakshatra, like that there are different stars And each star, when the full moon occurs in that star, there's a new month starting. And with that new month, we have a lunar new year starting, which generally varies every year because solar months are 30 days, whereas lunar months are only 29.5 days. And this is the reason there's a little bit of difference and variation in the new year starting every year.
So, in order we have different Hindu New Years, what are the different customs and traditions of these New Years?
Overall, there are general customs which are common to all New Years in India, which is generally
Mhm.
you always have to take a head bath to be completely clean from head to toe. Then
Mhm.
we always wear new clothes, and then we always want to start on a good note. Therefore, in Kerala, for example, in Vishu, early morning before they see anything, they always arrange all the good things in a corner. In the morning, they will close their eyes and go and see and open their eyes only in front of those good auspicious things. So they want to start the new year on a good note and a happy note. Also, on the new year, they always want to do something good. So the elders will give money, little bit of money to the younger people, or the rich people will give some money to the poor people who are having less less fortune. So in this way, you start the new year with a good tradition. And in Andhra Pradesh, for example, they eat a Ugadi Pachadi, which is actually chutney made out of 6 tastes. They mix bitterness, sourness, sweetness, spiciness, all these different tastes they'll mix. Shadruchis, 6 tastes they mix together and eat it as a chutney, because life is not always the same, it always varies differently. So when you look at Vishu or any of the New Years, they always come on the equinox days when the day and night are equal. Why is it important that they are equal? Because life is always filled with opposites. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad. So life is a mixture of sadness and happiness. So happiness has only value if there is sadness. If there's no sadness, happiness has no meaning. Suppose you're always sitting in air condition, therefore coldness has no meaning for you. Only when you go in hot sun for a while, when you come to air condition, you feel really happy. Similarly, all happiness is only a feeling that makes you happy when you have some kind of a trouble. So the time is always fluctuating, and every event, either hardship or sorrow, they all have their own place in life. To life become more exciting, we need to have different variations in the time. If there's only one way of time going the same way, life will become boring and then we don't want to live anymore. That is the reason it is a clear example and a message from the God or the universe that the time is going to change and fluctuate. All these fluctuations are only going to bring enhance the quality of life and happiness for you. That is the reason to understand that there's equal portions of happiness and sadness, difficulties and celebrations in our life. That New Year's is always celebrated on a day when the day and night are equal. And to understand this, we also eat different tastes on the same day to understand that everything is changing and everything makes it important for us to make life more fuller and richer.
Thank you for sharing this information, Panditji.
Thank you for all of you. Please listen and share it with other people who want to know this information.